Welcome back to Laura's Design Studio. It is Monday morning and we are going to be doing, I'm hoping to get all the collaborations for the week done today because it's a very busy next 3 weeks. So, I have Craftor 1-to-1 mixing. We got 16 ounces here, and I'm going to be pouring a few different things. Different angle because I'm tore down part of my stuff for moving. So I hope you guys can see. Tried to adjust the camera for this angle, so we will see. What? We are doing Tortoise Tuesday. And this is with myself and Sheila from Reptiles and Resin, who, by the way, tomorrow will be on Andy's show. So, and that's Custom Carving and Epoxy UK. He will be interviewing Sheila, which should be a lot of fun. I might be able to give you the first look at my heat mat, because it is right here. And it's the food heat mat instead of a resin heat mat. So before I leave you, I'm going to try and give you guys a glimpse of that. So you know what I'm talking about when I say a food heat mat. Yes, I'm stirring like a mad woman, but this is Craftor. And if you saw my video on Craftor, you know that it's crystal clear. I packed up a lot of my resin stuff, so, and a lot of it's on the floor. I'm still finishing products before Thursday. Something tells me I'm taking products with me to work on them, at least the small jewelry ones, when I'm there. We're going to pour this into a few cups because you don't want to leave this much resin sitting in a deep cup because it will flash cure on you. So once I'm done mixing this, I will break it up. And then I pulled some mica powders out, and that's what we're going to work with. I'm trying to go very easy this week because it's a mad week. Actually, the next 3 weeks are going to be kind of crazy. This week I have, I'm finishing up the stuff for the craft convention, which starts on Thursday. I'm packing, and I'm gonna do the 3 collaborations that I have been doing. Tortoise Tuesday, Coasting Through the Week, and also Froggy Friday. Now, since the craft convention, sorry, I need a drink. Since the craft convention starts on Thursday, um, I won't be here to do the Froggy Friday, but I will set it up. I miss my own premieres anyway, so it'll truly be like no different. And I'll probably get to set them to go off in the early AM. That way I'm not interfering with anybody else, since I won't be checking things a whole lot. Because once I get the videos for these done for the week, the rest of the week is going to be spent finishing and packing. Let's see. That is looking pretty good. Yes, I've already packed my mixers away, so everything is going to be hand mixed. Let me split this out. We're going to just set that back there. And like I said, we're going to do this easy this week. Let's see. I'm going to get a third cup. I do want to do 2 colors for these. Good enough. Good enough. So we are going to use phthalo green and peak yellow, and we're going to do these turtles in those colors. So now I am going to put some of this Resin Rocker Sparkle White. I think it has a much longer name than that, but I love the stuff because it's not glitter, but it gives that little glittery looking effect. But well, I guess it is a glitter, but it's like an ultra fine. I don't mind working with those. I despise chunky glitter. It does not clean out of your cups. So I will take a fine or ultra fine every day of the week. And yes, I'm stirring with popsicle sticks. They say not to because it introduces bubbles. But these have been used and reused, and they're coated in resin. So now they're sealed and they won't give off extra bubbles. Not that I worry about that with Bond Crafter, because if you guys have seen my video about Bond Crafter, I mixed that by hand, poured it, and only used alcohol and came out with crystal clear pieces. So if you haven't seen that, it's only 1 or 2 videos back. So go check that out, because Bond Crafter is the only resin that I will use at this point. Unless it's, when I say only at this point, it's the only resin I will use unless they don't have a product that I need. Like right now, they don't have a polyurethane. Now, this one is called the Headless Turtle because 3 of us support this and came out with no head. His head is clear back in here. So you're going to need to tip that back, open it up, and make sure you have resin down in the head. Also squeeze it after you put it down in there. Get any air bubbles out. And then what I do is tip it back once more and re-pour into the head. This is not an easy mold. Not for a beginner unless you do exactly what I just did. And then we'll still work with that head in a little bit here. I am going to pour these 2 colors, and we're going to fill up the turtle. Now, the other part you got to watch out for are his flippers and his feet. So don't fill it all the way up. Squeeze the flippers. Take your stick back in there. Make sure you don't have any trapped bubbles. Same with these feet back here. And then you're going to continue to fill again. Again, do not fill it all the way yet, because you want to go into those areas one more time, including the head. Make sure that is open. Go into the flippers and the feet. Okay, now let's clean this up a little bit. Also stretch the mold out. Stretch it in any direction that you can, just to make sure you have some resin in all areas. And I've got some overpour because I was stretching it. And we're going to clean that up with a baby wipe. We may need to take a little bit out. Now I'm going to take, as soon as I get this one more time with that head, because believe me, you're gonna need to do this. Tip back the head again and really make sure you get in there. There's that. I'm going to move this over to the heat mat, which I know is not level at this point because I've moved it. So I'm going to have to watch and see where I'm going to need some popsicle sticks to go. But I'm just going to watch it for a minute. I may have gotten lucky and hit an even part. Now here is the shell, or the lid to the box. Now, before I fill this too full, I am going to pick this up and move it over to the heat mat, because that one's a tricky one. I am going to keep these two colors just because that part is really floppy. I'm going to keep these two colors here in case I need to top them off. We're going to fill a few more turtles in the meantime. This is the INTORESIN turtle mold. I love this mold. You can just drop your molds like you would a cake batter. That'll help get bubbles out. And then we're just going to set this one over here. The heat mat is not on at this point. It's just, I'm just setting my pieces over here. These two look like they're fairly even right now. And let me do a couple turtles here. These are my pocket hook turtles. It's all about the extras. When you're going to a craft convention, you know, this is going to be your lesser priced items, because let's face it, they take hardly any resin, and basically it's just your leftovers, so no big deal. You know, if you're one of those people who throws away resin, which you shouldn't be because resin's expensive. You make sure you have a small mold, some small molds around. And like I said, these cost you nothing. You can sell these really cheap. And, you know, there'll be people that appreciate that. That you don't have all high-priced items. And these don't cost you hardly, well, I don't count them as costing you hardly anything because they're just these tiny molds that you're going to if you're a resin person like me, you want to use all your resin. So this is a way of having those less expensive items on your table. It's like if you're a paper crafter, it's like using your scraps, you know. There isn't much to scraps. Just trying to clean up this mold. I put it on the heat mat. So, I'll figure out what I'm doing with the rest of this. And I'll see you guys on the demold. Bye. I'm back. It's time for demold. Sorry for the mess. I'm trying to do a bunch of things at once. And I was deburring and filing all of my straw toppers and my pocket hugs. So, but I want to get this done. My phone is not fully charged, so let's do this. Let's do the little guys first. Oh, he has some overage that I'll get off. But there is one of these. They make really nice pendants. So I have two in this color. Yeah, he has overage too. And two in the what was it? Sunny, what color was this? Peak yellow. That's what it was. Peak yellow. This guy had a little of both in him. So there you go. Those are the turtles, the bitty turtles. And then we will do these. These are the ones I use for pocket hugs, so I got a whole mess of them. But there is that guy. And then we have a yellow one of him also. There he is. Then we have the INTORESIN turtle mold, my favorite mold. And there we go. He will be a keychain. I'm just gonna get moved right to this pile of stuff that I'm undoing, or I'm filing and all of that good stuff. Okay, let's take out the lid first, because this one should be fine. Yep. No bubbles. Now this one. Headless turtle. Let's hope I got his head again this time. First time for everybody had no head. I'm pretty sure everybody had the same issue. I know 3 of us did. He is not an easy one to fill, because his head is down under. This is really bendy. I don't like taking these guys out when they're like this, but I gotta get this done. There, oh, he's bendy. Okay, we will leave him to cure right here on a flat spot. But there he is. And here's his shell, which fits him. And we're just not going to put that lid on because we don't want it to fuse. I'm going to flatten out his bottom, and he can just stay over here. The heat mat's off, but he can just take his time to cure over there. And that's it for Tortoise Tuesday. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.